Hello, friend. I'm Jacques Howard. Welcome to Trenton365 Live, broadcasting from Mercer County Community College's campus in downtown Trenton, New Jersey, in the lovely and the beautiful new Trenton Hall. Tonight we're going to be talking about R.E.A.C.H, the acronym R-E-A.C.H. Each month I'm going to be bringing to you some different information about the projects that I'm working on under those particular items. R.E.A.C.H spells out R for recreation, E, environment, A, art and culture, C, civic engagement, H, health and nutrition. We're going to have some commercials that are going to be in this program as well. So this provides those of you who are in the listening and viewing audience an opportunity to reach out to me and reach out about potential sponsorships and also for advertisements. You can do that by sending an email, Trenton365show@gmail.com, and the 365 are numbers. In addition to that, you can also follow me on Facebook, Trenton365 Show. You can also follow on Instagram and Twitter at Trenton365. And you can always post your events to the Trenton365 community calendar page on Facebook as well. Monthly, I'll be coming to you, letting you know specifically some events that I'll be attending each month so that you can actually come out and check it out as well. And if you're someone who's interested in becoming an influencer or joining an influencer network, stay tuned for that information as well. So about this time, let's get started and let's talk about the first item that's on my mind, and that's recreation. And under recreation, I want to talk about the biking and skateboarding culture that's happening here in the city of Trenton, New Jersey. Trenton has an amazing subculture and above ground culture of biking and skateboarding. On any given weekend, you can come downtown Trenton near Mill Hill Park and you'll see people skateboarding and rollerblading and BMXing. All those cool things happening. So that led me and several others to think about what Trenton would look like if we put together a plan to have an outdoor skate park. We are the Friends of Amtico Square, and you can follow us on Facebook on that page, Friends of Amtico Square. Now, in addition to that, there's an indoor skate park that we're working with as well, and that's called Freedom Skate Park, and those events take place at the Roebling Wire Works building, also known as the Art All Night building for those of you who are local. But Freedom Skate is the name of that Facebook page as well. I also encourage you, if you're more into biking, to consider joining the Trenton Cycling Revolution. That's a bicycle advocacy organization that's working to not only educate and support biking initiatives here in the city of Trenton and beyond, but also to do some different things with the administration as well, such as the implementation of bike lanes and bike sharrows. So more information can be found about that by visiting TrentonCyclingRevolution.org or on the Facebook page Trenton Cycling. My name is Jacques Howard, and you are watching Trenton365 Live, broadcasting from Mercer County Community College in downtown Trenton, New Jersey, in the Trenton Hall. We'll see you after a short break.
I'm looking for a group of Wempresses, vampires, bloodsuckies, Nosferatu.
You mean like Draculas and shit?
Yes, like Dracula. These women will seduce you. They will take you home and get you more intoxicated than you've ever been in your entire life.
They will pleasure you in ways that you have never been pleasured.
Then when you least expect it, that's when they suck and drain you of your blood. What I need to do is stop a reign of terror. Stop a reign of bloodshed that's been spread across the world for centuries. And I need to stop them before it's too late.
Do you think you can handle us? All three of us?
Hey friends, welcome back to Trenton365 Live. Just now let's talk about the environment. One of the things that I'm passionate about is the environment in which I live. And I'm not saying that I'm a tree hugger or any of those things, but there's a direct correlation to the world that we live in and the communities that we live in and how we take care of them. It's the earth, it's Mother Nature, correct? I'm sure most of you can remember back in the 70s, the commercial of the Native American, the indigenous American who was looking at the litter that was going through the streams and the waterways and that tear going down his eye. That was an amazing PSA that made a mark of me as a young person. And from that point forward, I've always thought about what is our responsibility to make sure that we take care of this environment and the world for future generations. Now that I'm a father, I also think about what I'm going to be passing on to my daughter and to some of her friends, and then my relatives and relations through her. I apologize for getting a little choked up because that takes me back to that commercial again, where I think about that sadness, that one tear that streamed down his eye as he saw the trash in the waterways. Well, a couple of different things that I'd like to consider for others to do, not only myself, but where we live. There's a direct correlation to litter and crime and property values. So it behooves us to think about how we take care of not only our homes and our apartments and our residences and our schools and our neighborhoods, but how that can make an impact on what the future of our neighborhoods look like when I talk about decreasing property values, the elements of crime, etc. Well, there's a couple of things for you to consider. A lot of people talk about the dumping that takes place in the city of Trenton and how dirty it is. Well, there's a couple of things I'd like to talk about. Number one, if you see illegal dumping, you can contact the Environmental Protection Agency anonymously on their website, and that website is stopdumping.nj.gov. Now, for those of you who are cyclists and bicyclists and enjoy the trails here in Trenton, last summer we noticed that there was a lot of illegal dumping that was taking place. Well, through this website, they were able to catch and apprehend the person who was actually doing that dumping. So it does work. But what it means is that we have to take the initiative to reach out to those organizations and the proper authorities to make sure that we hold them accountable and that they do their job. So that website again is stopdumping.nj.gov. Now, this past Monday, we celebrated the MLK Day of Service, and I want to give a shout out publicly to Kiana Childs Alexander for coining the phrase, "a day on, not a day off." For several years, I've been partnering with lots of different organizations, including the Bethany House of Hospitality, Care Trenton, 78 Ways Studios, Will Foskey, and a host of others to do an MLK Day cleanup. Well, in 2019, the weather was near frigid, so we didn't do our cleanup. However, the impetus was there. The idea is to bring people together in a space where we can have a networking opportunity and actually do a day of service. So we would normally clean Columbus Park. You can actually do an internet search for MLK Day of Service, Mercer County, that's the Facebook page, or you can do a Google or an internet search for MLK Day of Service in Trenton, New Jersey, and check out some of the videos of the things that we've been doing over the years. In addition to that, I want to make sure that we look at this whole idea of litter from the perspective of human beings. Oftentimes when communities are considered dirty or trashy, there's an onus that goes across all of the people who live in that community. Oftentimes it's based upon the color of their skin or their ethnicities. Well, I'd like to go a step further. Maybe we ought to start thinking about, let's say Trenton specifically. We have a large population of people who are now residents here who come from different countries and different communities. Maybe they're not used to this type of cleanliness. Not saying anything about how they were raised or reared, that just could be their way of life. Well, let's take the initiative and let's create an opportunity to educate our friends and our families and our neighbors and our residents about what some of the rules and ordinances are. Oftentimes, it's just a matter of knowing and telling. I like to talk about snow, for example. Snow is a thing here in New Jersey and has been for a long time, and unless global warming changes, it's going to continue to be an issue. But if you come from a country where you didn't see snow, you may not even know that it's your responsibility to clean the sidewalks, clean the porch, move your car so that the plow can come through. Again, it's just an opportunity for us to talk to our neighbors, get to know them, and share some different things and some experiences about what life is like here in the capital of New Jersey. I'm Jacques Howard. You're listening to Trenton365 Live, and you can send me an email, Trenton365show@gmail.com. We'll be back after a short break. Howard, I'm on location downtown Trenton, New Jersey, on Perry Street and Broad Street. And the weather and the traffic has changed quite a bit here in New Jersey's capital city. The snow is slowly changing over to rain. The traffic has gotten much better, and like many people, this has caught us by surprise. However, this is the beginning of the season for us, and we hope that you are safe. The weather forecast says that it's going to be changing over to rain soon, and when that happens, hopefully some of this will be melting. However, if temperatures drop, do expect the roads to continue to be hazardous. Please stay tuned and look into your local weather stations for more information. Jacques Howard on location, downtown Trenton, New Jersey, at the corner of Perry and Broad Streets.
Early bird, eager to start my day.
I'm a voyager of the road.
I am the captain of the Enterprise. This is my ship.
I keep America moving.
I am part of the team.
Yo soy parte de la familia de NFI.
But I still come home to my real family every day.
Hello, friend. Welcome back to Trenton 365 Live, coming to you from Mercer County Community College, downtown Trenton campus in the lovely and beautiful brand new Trenton Hall. If you haven't been here, reach out to me. I'd love to give you a tour, let you see some of the wonderful things that are happening here. This building was actually, the architectures are also local as well. It's an amazing opportunity for the city of Trenton to have this type of a higher education facility in a historic district in downtown Trenton. It's now time for me to talk about something that I'm really passionate about. Not more so passionate than any of the other things I've been talking about, so I shouldn't say that, but the arts and the art marketplace. For many years, people have heard me talk about we need an arts marketplace. And I want to go back to something that I heard Dan Fatton, who's a friend of mine, say, and it was very clear, and it resonated with me so much when he said, if we are going to say we are an arts community, we need to pay the artists. So let's let that sink in a little bit. If we're going to be an arts city or an arts community, we need to pay the artists. Now, oftentimes artists are told, well, how about if we go ahead and we barter, or we buy you pizza and pay for your supplies or anything like that. Now, that sounds nice, and it sort of takes some of the burden off, but would you ever think about going to your auto mechanic and asking your auto mechanic, well, can you fix my brakes for exposure? Would you think about going to the gas station and saying, may I have fuel for my vehicle and I'll barter with you? We wouldn't think of that. So it's time for us to think about how we treat artists and that profession, because it is a profession. And it's not a matter of just some doodling when you think about kindergarten or grade school children. This is a livelihood. Think about every single thing that you come in contact with, whether it's the water bottle that you drink water out of, or the fitness class that you attend, or the furniture that you sit on, or the house that you live in. Someone, a human hand, had to come up with the idea, the concept, and the design, as well as the fabrication and implementation. I personally believe that if we start looking at each other's work, whatever that series of work is, as a person's profession, and paying them the same way that we would like to get paid, I think that as a whole, our community will get better. I want to stick and talk more about this arts marketplace, because fashion is something that I'm very interested in, and that's an opportunity, again, for us to create a marketplace. Oftentimes, people will decide, hey, I want to go to a large chain store, or go to the mall, or I'm going to go on the internet and order something from another country. Well, we're fortunate enough here in Trenton, New Jersey, and Mercer County to have fashion designers right here who I am quite positive they would be interested in making some specific clothes for you, clothes that fit your body type and your body style, fabrics that you can choose for yourself, one-of-a-kind items. Some folks may say that that's a pie-in-the-sky attitude, but remember, Mercer County Community College has a fashion program, so they're educating young people and others who are looking at that as a marketplace. And then you could be like me and also have a passion for vintage clothes, like this Burberry jacket I'm wearing. Anyway, I'm Jacques Howard. You're listening and watching Trenton 365 Live, broadcasting from Mercer County Community College in downtown Trenton, New Jersey in the Trenton Hall. We'll be back after a short break. And welcome back to Trenton365 Live. Now it's time to talk about library boxes of Trenton. I'm not sure if you've seen the library boxes scattered throughout Trenton. There's about a dozen to 15 of them. Some of them are at Hedgepath Williams School, Trenton Coffee House and Roaster, Champs, WIMG, Mercer Street Friends, and even some residents have adopted them as well. So the idea and the concept of library boxes of Trenton came to me many years ago when the city of Trenton had closed their libraries except for the main one on Academy Street. So I had this idea about how can I do my part as just a resident and who I was connected to create something that would help distribute literature to the community. Well, I partnered with the Trenton Downtown Association, who had several old newspaper boxes that were just becoming empty trash receptacles, or they were being disused and they were just taking up space. So they generously donated them to me. Along with other partners, I was able to get some funding from Bart's Books, which is Prometheus Publishing, and we paid 15 artists, local artists, to paint and design and repurpose and upcycle these newspaper boxes into library boxes. Those library boxes were then adopted by either agencies, entities, or individuals whose now responsibility is to fill them with books and other reading materials. One of the things that I like to do is on a Saturday is to visit Classics Books and Gifts, which is one of the locations that actually donates books not only to library boxes of Trenton, but free books to any child in the city of Trenton. All you have to do is go there, tell them that you live in Trenton, and you can get free books. Now, going into the near future, we're going to be launching a podcast, Library Boxes of Trenton, LBOT, #LBOT, #LBOT, from Classics Books and Gifts. We'll be meeting authors. We'll be talking about some of the books that I'm reading, one of which is Healing Journeys, which is by Dr. Kevin Kidda, who I'll be interviewing in the near future over one of my other programs, and also local author Patrick Lombardi and his new book, Junk Sale. In addition to that, I'm always trying to read as much as I can about things that are important to me, such as the environment. And this is a book by Tom Zaki, who is the CEO and founder of TerraCycle, a global corporation based right here in Trenton, which is a marketing company whose business is, air quotes, junk. So all these different things and opportunities are ways for you to get involved, regardless of what you're into. Maybe you're not involved in biking. Maybe you're not really interested in visual or performing arts, but you like to read. Well, we've got a space for you too. You can send me an email there, libraryboxesofTrentonNJ@gmail.com. You can also check out Instagram, Library Boxes of Trenton, and on Facebook, Library Boxes of Trenton as well. Just reach out to me. I'd love to chat and hear about what you're reading and to maybe exchange some books. I'm Jacques Howard. You're listening and watching Trenton365 Live. We'll be back after a short break.
I've lived and worked in the city for most of my life. A city with a rich and extensive history that's often overlooked and unappreciated due to the busy, frenetic activity of everyday life. A city overshadowed by an unsavory reputation, ambivalence, or disdain. Where the dweller's struggles and the visitor's fears interplay to sustain an uneasiness that is felt by everyone.
Hey, Joey. Hey, Bob. How you doing? Great to be alive at the State Barbershop. Hell yeah. Don't worry about nothing.
Yet if you make the effort to look, you quickly find that among the overall subjective darkness, there are places so positively bright that will bring you back over and over again. Places where the energy will fill you with the feel-good worth experiencing regularly and often. And when you find one of these places, like I have, support and nurture them accordingly so that others may enjoy them for many years to come.
Hey, how's it going, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you too, man.
And welcome back to Trenton365 Live. Send me an email, Trenton365show@gmail.com. You can follow me on Facebook, Trenton365show, and on Instagram and Twitter @Trenton365. If you want to learn a little bit more about me other than this, all you have to do is an internet search for my name, J-A-C-Q-U-E, last name Howard, traditional spelling, or Trenton365. We're now at the segment where we're going to be talking about health and nutrition. Now, some folks may think that what I'm going to talk about isn't really considered health, and the jury may still be out for a lot of people. But we're going to talk briefly about cannabis. Now, when I think about cannabis, I often think about, our childhood, or my childhood, when the idea was, you wanted to go smoke weed, or you wanted to do whatever just to escape or get that feeling of euphoria. But amazingly, all the science that has been put into this is realizing and recognizing and observing that there is a lot of medicinal benefits to this herb or this plant. Now, I'm not saying the word marijuana because I'm being educated about the nature of that word and its racist origin. I encourage you to check that out for yourself. All you have to do is an internet search, marijuana racist, and find out the impetus behind the naming of it, etc. Now, when I think about cannabis, of course, everyone's heard about what's happening throughout the country and communities where it's becoming legal, whether it's medicinal, whether it's recreational, etc. I'm still unsure about how that works. I like to say that I'm a neophyte. But my eyes and ears are open. I want to learn more about it because I see this as the next opportunity for everyone to get involved in this forthcoming marketplace. And I'm not talking about everyone becoming a grower or everyone dispensing, but there's going to be secondary and tertiary markets that come off of this. And when I say that, I mean there's going to be opportunities for transportation, for tourism, for food, for edibles, for beverages. There's lots of different things. Just think about if you were able to be a part of the automotive industry when cars were first introduced. That's almost where we are now as a culture. And throughout the world, cannabis is growing into this major marketplace. I'm not sure of the exact statistics, but I believe it's going to be over $1 billion industry in the state of New Jersey alone. Now think about that. If someone told you that there was going to be a forthcoming industry of $1 billion or more in the state where you live, wouldn't you want to learn more about it? At least hear a bit more about it? Well, I encourage you to do that. And I'm not saying that I'm the best person for that, but just take a little bit of time and research. There's plenty of nonprofit and for-profit organizations here in New Jersey, like the Trenton Cannabis Community or WoFlow or a whole bunch of others who are local. But do your research and see what's happening in countries like Canada, and also in South America, and also in Europe as well. Educate yourself, because that's the only way you're really going to get that true information. Now, I know some of you, especially here in Trenton, we've got well over 100 churches. We're going to have a lot of people who are going to throw their hands up and say it's the devil and it's all these different things. I question you to say, was that something that you were taught, and who taught you, and what was the reason behind you were taught that? Now, if you're someone who is suffering from an illness and cannabis can help make you feel better, I think that there are no faith communities that would tell you to not do that. I'd love to chat with you about that if you've got some questions as well. You can send me an email, Trenton365show@gmail.com. Now, with cannabis, when I think about the marketplace for it, last year in 2018, I had the opportunity to go to the Mid-Jersey Chamber of Commerce, which was hosting an event, a statewide convening that was all about cannabis. And this facility was held at the Forsgate Country Club, and there was well over 300 people. Some have traveled very far away, I mean hundreds of miles away, to come to this event because they wanted to hear what was going on with cannabis and where we are as a state as far as the legalization of it. And again, that room was pretty homogeneous. Lots of men and lots of men who looked the same. My point is, we need to start thinking about alternatives such as this, such as digital currency, because those are the global marketplace. Just as the same as we want to teach our children to get outside of the neighborhood, go, explore, visit, learn more, well, we as adults need to consider that as well. And I'd love to chat with you if you have some interest in that. I'm Jacques Howard. You're listening and watching Trenton365 Live. We're up on a short break, but I'll see you shortly.
Let's stay here. Let's stay here in
All right, folks, welcome back to Trenton365 Live. I'm your host, Jacques Howard. So we're at the end of the program, but each month I'm going to be letting you know a few things about what I'm doing and where I'm going, and that's going to be through the Trenton365 Community Calendar. And that is a page that's on Facebook. Now, I say this because I'm out and about lots of times, and I'm not always out on Friday and Saturday nights when most people are, because I'm out during the week all the time, except for Sundays. Sundays is my day of rest. So I'd like to bring to you all these wonderful things that are happening, not only here in the city of Trenton or in the Trenton region, but oftentimes on the Trenton365 calendar page, you'll see things in DC and New York and in Virginia and even Pittsburgh. And I say that because we as Trentonians, we travel. We go different places. So if I find something that is I'm supportive of, or an organization or an entity that says, hey, Jacques, I'd like for you to distribute this information to your networks in Jersey, I'm going to do that. So the Trenton365 calendar page is not just for the city of Trenton, for Mercer County, for the region. I like to say that it's literally from New York to Pittsburgh and anywhere in between. So in the next couple of weeks, here's a couple of places where you can actually physically see me and see me doing some of the things that I do, like acting as an ambassador or hosting or emceeing a performance. On Saturday, January 26th, I'll be hosting the Robert Ruffus Experience South, which is going to be happening at the Seafood Haven in Willingboro, New Jersey. You can call 609-610-3193 for details. 609-610-3193. February 16th, I'm part of a co-producing with filmmaker Jeff Stewart for Screen Test 2, which is part of Philly Theater Week. Last year we had a great time over at Champs, 931 Chambers Street, but this year we're going to a new facility, which is Trenton Coffee House and Roaster. Shout out to Abdul, who is welcoming us with open arms. So Screen Test is where our actors, professional actors, will recreate their favorite scenes. Last year we had someone do a segment from Django, but to do it in a Latino Hispanic voice. So that was pretty awesome. That's taking place on February 16th, and that's at 750 Cass Street in Trenton, New Jersey. And if you need to find out more information, you can call 732-688-4831. 732-688-4831. And on February 23rd, I'll be acting as a moderator for the African American History Bowl competition that will be taking place in Trenton, New Jersey. You can find out more information by contacting Ivy Avey, who is part of the African American Cultural Collaborative of Mercer County, who's actually sponsoring and coordinating this event. And you can call 609-372-8999. Again, 609-372-8999. And finishing up, I always like to talk about fashion, and I want to give a big shout out to prom scholar Anastasia Shahida Williams, who is the fashion designer of the Prom Scholar, but she is also the founder and the CEO of the organization. I encourage you to check them out on their website, promscholar.org. In short, what they do is they work with high school students, men and women, boys and girls, and provide them with suits, custom suits, and dresses for the prom that's coming up. The deadline's coming up very quickly, so I encourage you to reach out to Shahida, and that's on the website, promscholar.org. I'm Jacques Howard. You've been listening and watching Trenton365 Live, broadcasting from Mercer County Community College in historic downtown Trenton in the lovely new Trenton Hall. Stay connected via social media, Facebook, Trenton365 Show, Instagram and Twitter at Trenton365, and you can always send me an email, Trenton365show@gmail.com. Have a great night.